Welcome to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, coming to you live from the Wave Beach Realty Studios in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call us today at 843-957-3872.
Happy New Year, and as we get the year started, let's get your financial picture in focus by getting a budget and getting those spending habits looked at. Reach out to me at coachwestc@gmail.com and we'll get you off to a good start.
Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. This segment is sponsored by Bobby Clary State Farm. Call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right. All right, guys, welcome back into our newest podcast episode with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist. Today, we're going to talk about something good. No, we're not. Just going to go straight into some negative stuff.
Good.
Yeah, no, you're right. It does start with good.
It starts with good.
It just goes
Inauguration is in 3 days.
Yep.
2 days, depending on how you count the weekend.
Yep.
So we have the start of hopefully a new time period in the United States.
Yep.
We'll see how Washington eats itself before that.
Right.
But the Trump verdict came out last week.
Yep. He's now a felon.
He is a convicted felon. Now that he has been sentenced, he can be considered a convicted felon. So you can hear that over and over again on the legacy meetings, so that he's a convicted felon.
Yep.
Every time you hear somebody say something, you'll hear a convicted felon.
Yes.
It's like
convicted felon Trump now taking the White House. Yeah, it's going to be, that's all you'll hear
That's
about.
Kind of funny. I just saw on X this guy saying, "I couldn't be more proud of my convicted felon president-elect."
Love that. I love that.
But he was unconditionally discharged.
I've never heard of that.
Literally no prison, no probation, no conditions, no anything, but you're still a convicted felon.
So silly.
So tell me, what was that all about?
It was all a scam just to keep him out of the White House, and none of it has any.
And it only helped him get in. Back in it.
Yeah, it really. And honestly, he probably loves that. That's on his record now, just to prove a point. Like because it's not like he's got to go get a job. It's not like he's a W-2 employee and has to go get a job somewhere at some point.
I know. Yeah.
Like it's never going to affect him negatively.
You've seen those billboards, ex part-time fry cook.
I saw like memes, not the billboards, but I saw some memes about it. Yeah. So anyway, they that backfired on them. But just to come after somebody like that, and just the way the left is like weaponized the justice system is amazing to me. It's amazing.
And they act like they didn't do it, and they're so scared Trump's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I do think someone will get caught up with Trump's DOJ, but they're deserving.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It's
crazy.
It's chaotic ignorance, and just I can't even describe it anymore.
Yeah.
But do you think it'll be overturned on appeal? He's going to appeal it. You know he's going to appeal it.
Yeah, it probably will be because it's not. He didn't really do anything.
Oh yeah, what was he convicted of?
It was like the stuff with what was it, the Mar-a-Lago stuff, right? Wasn't that a lot of it the what he did with his real estate, like inflating his real estate? Isn't that what it was about?
Supposedly inflating his real estate, but the judge put a $18 million value on Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah,
you're a real estate guy.
Yeah, I don't have $18 million to buy Mar-a-Lago, but I would find some investors to help me, and then I would be a millionaire once it's sold.
During his press conference was last week too. Did you see the press conference he did? Literally an hour and a half, no notes, no teleprompter, answering every question that he called on.
Yeah,
no, nothing staged.
No, he doesn't need a teleprompter.
It's fresh. I mean, it's fresh to go. But he said at one point, he says, "Yeah, $18 million. That chandelier over y'all is worth $18 million." But
wild man.
34 convictions on that kind of junk.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a total joke.
It really is.
And it backfired on them, though. I'll tell you that.
It did. It really did. I hope the New York system gets investigated, I guess.
Yeah, they should.
And they're going to say, "Oh, it's political." What has been the last 5 years?
Right.
Actually, next 8 years when you talk about it.
Yeah.
They've tried everything to actually put him in jail or do something to him. I mean, think about it. If they had anything on Trump at all to get him, he would be in jail or something. He's got to be the most investigated person in the world.
He's actually taken the title from John Gotti. He is now the Teflon Don.
Yeah,
He is the new Teflon Don. It's crazy. Teflon Donald Trump. Can't touch him. It's crazy I just don't. If I were in his shoes, like, I'd be like, dude, I don't even want to run for president. Like, I've had enough. I've had enough of this.
He could just step down and went. I mean, why do you think he did it?
I think he genuinely loves the country and wants to. Now, I think some of it's ego, a little bit of it. He's like, hey, I want to beat him.
Yeah.
But I think
one
deep down, deep down though, it can't just be because he has enough power. He doesn't need that power.
He didn't need any of the power. He didn't need the money. He lost money. His net worth went down.
Yep.
It was so funny. I saw somebody post on X the other day because Trump's going to give away his salary, and he was talking about that.
Donate
and somebody so funny. Somebody comes up and says, well, I want to know about the first 4 years. When he's going to get that salary back? Oh, he got lit up. It's like, do you not know anything?
Yeah.
He didn't take a dime the first 4 years.
Yeah. Was it a $500,000 presidential salary? Is that what it is?
I'm not sure what it is.
I think it's $500,000. It's like the presidential
He gave it all
salary.
away. Every time he gave it away to a different charity.
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't know it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's great. Actually, a lot of the charitable stuff he's done over the years that he's never even talked about.
No,
I will say that as somebody who likes to brag about himself about other things, his charitable stuff he doesn't. It's like the one thing is off limits to him.
What was that one that's been confirmed about the guy who changed his tire on his limousine? He paid his house off. He paid his house off.
He didn't even call him to let him know. He just paid it off.
Yeah,
and then the guy went to make a mortgage payment, and he probably received his deed in the mail and was like, "What?"
I'm changing a tire.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So he's done that for countless people. The kid who has that brain cancer, I mean, they made a big deal about him. Oh, he's just doing that for show. And he didn't do it for show. I mean, the only reason he knew about it is because the family said something about it.
Right.
He didn't. He just doesn't stand up.
Yeah.
But he didn't get credit for any of that.
No.
He did before he ran for president.
Yeah.
Before he ran, everybody loved him.
Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah. Now, he was on Oprah a few times.
Yeah.
The View had him on and was talking great about him. Yeah. Everybody loved
2015, I think, or 14.
Yeah, it's funny how over taking political sides, people will oust you like they never knew you, or like you've been this evil person. Like, and then Hollywood's getting exposed for pedophile rings and all. They're not ousting Diddy like that. You don't hear them talking bad about him.
Mm-mm. That's because some of them that talk bad about him get caught up in it.
They were at those parties watching it all go down. Yep, sickos.
That's another one.
The mess that goes on in Hollywood should be another. I wish I could do an insider go undercover and go in Hollywood for a month. I'd probably end up getting assassinated or at least leave the country because I found.
I think I'd leave feeling so dirty I couldn't wash it off.
Yeah.
It is just sickening. I mean, stuff I've seen just public, I can't imagine what goes on behind the scenes.
Right. Just whatever they're making public, that's only like the smallest depth of what's really going on. Just the shallow version.
And that same kind of stuff goes on in Washington.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's that power corrupts.
It does.
It corrupts, and again, going back to what we talked about last podcast, free market versus command system. We think if we give these people power in the government to fix our lives, no, they're just going to use the power to fix their own lives.
Yeah. Yeah,
people always look after themselves, and that's kind of the basis of free market. People looking after their own self-interest because they're going to do it either way. Yeah, it just depends on who has the power to do it. If we give more people the power to do it, better off people are. Right. The fewer people we give that power, like we have right now in Washington or the L.A., the worse off we are. Yeah, 100%. So you were saying something off air about we're going to move into some darker conspiracy territory now. Do we have to? Yeah, I want to. Okay. Well, you said Homeland Security or something said that they were going to have to really beef up. What was that? It was beef up security at the inauguration. James O'Keefe up here. James O'Keefe. I don't understand why we're not hearing more about James O'Keefe. I mean, he literally has brought out some stuff that needs to be investigated, and it's like he's being pigeonholed. Yeah. So, Bureau of Prisons Inside exposes. No, that's child exploitation. Never mind. That's something different. Let's see how. I mean, he's breaking stuff every other day now. It's just crazy. I mean, this is one we can do later, but Bureau of Prisons Insiders exposed documents inside DOJ proposing policy downgrading child exploitation from a high severity to a low severity offense. Yeah. I mean, to me, it should be the high. You mess with a kid, right? That's the highest thing. Yeah. You're done. Yeah. Just hit here. Veteran Affairs Insider reveals HHS memo. That's home. What is HHS? It's health. Well, I don't know what HHS is. HS would just be Homeland Security, but I don't. Well, the Department of Homeland Security is one. This is HHS. Yeah, I don't know. Which is Health and Human Services, Health and Human Services.
Okay.
Reveals detailing unprecedented presidential inauguration medical personnel support deployment request. What concerns me was that there's never been a request before, especially not from HHS, said an insider from the VA, telling the O'Keefe Group, revealing an internal memorandum requesting medical personnel ahead of the 2025 presidential inauguration. Why? Why do we need a larger contingency of paramedics, emergency nurses, and doctors?
There's
no question. I mean, there's no answers. It's just what. There's never been anything like this before.
There's going to be an attempt. There's unfortunately because a lot of times the government will find out about these plots and they try to stop them before they happen, but they can't let anybody know because then the terrorists won't attempt it and they won't be able to hunt them down and find them. So they really take the risk of letting the plot happen to try to solve it before it does. That's the risk they take, and by not telling anybody.
Theory.
I don't think that's conspiracy theory. When have you ever heard them talk about any of the plots that they stopped?
No, you don't.
Right.
You don't.
Because they're like, well, we got to let it try to play out so we can stop them. Because if they find out about it, they're just going to plan another one, and they may not find out about that one. So they have to risk American lives to try to catch them. I'm not saying maybe that's the best way to handle it, but obviously if they're prepping for that, there's already been multiple people talking about the amount of planned terrorist attacks there are for this year in the United
off
States.
The air, you were trying to draw some connection with the drones.
Well, okay, so the Cybertruck guy who blew up, he was in the military. He blew up that just to get attention. He had sent an email out.
He was just crazy. Did you hear the legacy media say he was just crazy?
He's not crazy. He's not crazy at all.
He was tied to the guy in New Orleans, and it was all a conspiracy.
He's not tied to the New Orleans guy at all. That was just a regular terrorist attack. That was just a mild one. He sent an email out to a bunch of people, Sean Ryan, a bunch of podcasters, a bunch of people in intelligence that had been retired, basically explaining a bunch of different stuff. And one thing he said is that us and China have this technology. It's like this gravitational, the way these drones operate is some like science. I can't even describe it because I don't understand it, but it's some gravity defying propulsion system. And that's how these drones operate. And he said that the ones that we're seeing, I guess China has a bunch of submarines off of our coast, and they release these drones and do test flights to see our response times and everything, and that at any point they could hover these things over the White House with an unlimited payload and do whatever they wanted to with them. And this guy was working in the government, like, I guess, with some of this technology that we had, trying to, like, and he wanted people to...
That's not scary at all.
Not at all. No.
So we can do the same thing, though.
We can do the same thing, but I guess there's not a way to stop, like, I guess whatever anti-systems we have in place to stop attacks wouldn't stop those right now because of their anti-gravity abilities, I guess, or something.
Was Trump with him? The governor of Virginia was just talking about there's been drones all over Virginia, too, over the military bases. That makes sense.
Yeah, and Trump said...
nobody's reporting it.
And Trump said, he's like, I don't know why they're not telling you guys what's going on. He's like, I guess he knows. He just can't say it yet.
Right.
He said, day one, I'm going to let you guys know what's going on with these drones. He said it in some interview. I saw some clip of it earlier.
I've seen him say it a couple times.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see, like, if he backs up the story of what this guy said in the email, that it's Chinese drones testing our responses and seeing what we can...
But he didn't seem to be too worried about it.
Well, if we have the same technology, he might know some things that the guys that are reporting on this don't know.
Yeah, well, that's
because of intelligence. Because I'm sure he's getting he's not doing intelligence briefings, right?
Or he is now.
He is now. I guess he has to now.
Yeah, before he wasn't because he didn't want to be in that. But now he's president-elect, he can.
Yeah.
But let's come back and finish that. Let's take a hit from our sponsors, and I guess we'll go down the hole a little farther and a little deeper, a little darker.
Let's do it.
I'll be back.
When life gets unpredictable, turn to a partner you can trust. At Bobby Clary State Farm, we've got you covered. Whether it's home, auto, or life insurance, we're dedicated to providing personalized coverage that fits your needs. With our friendly and knowledgeable team, navigating your insurance options have never been easier. Visit BobbyClary.com or call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right. Are you looking to buy a property in North or South Carolina and need financing assistance? Give Motto Mortgage Coastal Pros a call today. We specialize in residential loans in both North and South Carolina and can meet all your residential home loan needs. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872.
If you like the economics part of the show, then check out my podcast, Econ Sense. You can find it on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts.
You're listening to the Dollars and Cents Radio Show with Jonathan Edmond and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com.
This segment brought to you by Eisenhower Dental. Reach out to them at 843-234-3110.
A story that kind of disappeared very suddenly. Do you have any idea whatever happened? A story that kind of disappeared.
Is this the FBI talking about it?
This is Box. Why is this doing this to me? Okay, I think I'm ready.
Okay, I found the email.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
I'll leave back in with him talking about it.
Okay.
A story that kind of disappeared very suddenly. Do you have any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you said that you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
I don't know. They're over Bedminster a lot, so I can imagine. I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration.
There you go.
Because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about that?
Just one quick comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
Is it dangerous?
Well, I can tell you this. While we were dealing with a terrorist attack in New Orleans, we had drones being flown over our nuclear reactors in Louisiana. And we brought that attention to the FAA. We've been asking the FAA to give these states the ability to mitigate these drones, and it's sitting on some bureaucrat's desk. And that's real.
Nobody knows. They don't want to talk about it. Go ahead, Governor, you're going to say?
I was just going to say we have drones in Wyoming flying over our infrastructure as well. And it's incredibly frustrating that we not only have no way of knowing what it is, but nobody knows how to deal with them.
They don't want to talk about it, and nobody knows why. They don't want to talk about it. That could be us sending drones. I hope that's the case, us doing it and doing research, and maybe they don't want to talk about it from that standpoint. I hope it's not an enemy, but we're going to find out on the 21st, the day after. You have to give me a little time for the inauguration, but shortly thereafter, we'll give you a report on it. We'll tell you exactly what it is. They know, and it's very strange that they aren't talking about it.
Yeah. So the email that was sent, I'm just going to read a snippet of it just regarding the drones. There's 3 paragraphs I can read pretty quickly. This is from the Cybertruck bomber.
Yeah.
So in his email, what we have been seeing with the drones is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China in the East Coast, but throughout history, the U.S. Only we in China have this capability. Our open location for this activity is in the box below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity has recently picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force that they are using it, similar to how they use the balloon for SIGHT and ISR, which are also part of the integrated comm systems. There are dozens of these balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned AC. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. USG needs to give the history of this, how we are employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them, and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast.
No, that's not going down deeper and darker.
That was the Cybertruck bomber, and there's plenty of evidence that he worked in intelligence for the government.
Devil's advocate here, he blew himself up. Well, supposedly blew himself up. He did set up a bomb.
Yeah, he did set up a bomb.
You've studied this more than I have. I mean, it's pretty sure that this guy did set the bomb off or not.
Yes,
or was he framed for it?
He was planning to leave this. If you read the rest of the email, he was planning to leave the country. He says it in his email. One of the first things he says, in case I do not make it to my decision point or on the Mexico border, I'm sending this now. Please do not release this until January 1 and keep my identity private until then. And then he says, I'm not under duress. My first car was a black Mustang V6 for verification. But he says, I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland and FBI. They are looking to move on me and are unlikely to going to let me cross into Mexico because they know I'm armed and have a massive VBIED, which is a car bomb, basically, is what that is, which the FBI didn't know what that was. They had to ask, when they read the email, they had to ask intelligence people what that was. I assumed, just from reading the email, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it even I knew IED, something explosive device. Improvised explosive device, but they didn't know what it was. That's what they were talking about on one of the podcasts. I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me. So he doesn't say anything about bombing in the Cybertruck, but there's videos of him stopping to charge the Cybertruck at different times, but he didn't look like he was going to go blow it up. I don't know if they captured him and then blew it up to and make it look like he killed himself, and he had too much. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, it's like the government's like, all right, he's going to tell too many people about this. Capture him. We already have the information on him. Capture him. Go ahead and blow up the Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower, wherever they wanted to do it, which is convenient to do it in front of Trump Tower, and have a body in there, say it's his, whatever, leave his passport in there. It's very interesting. It's a very easy conspiracy to come up with.
Jonathan the conspiracist.
Back at it. And
but what's so scary about it is, 10 years ago you'd be like, oh, come on, Jonathan, what are you talking about? But now it's like, okay, this is possible.
Yeah, it makes more sense because like him just showing up with a Cybertruck, which he knew like it was their bulletproof. He knows enough. He's smart enough to know that wouldn't cause as much damage as just any other car.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make much sense. So if you like start really delving into it, my explanation based off of reading his email makes more sense than he just showed up and blew up in front of Trump Tower. So anyway, it's very interesting. I don't know what really happened. I don't know if it'll come out. Maybe Trump will get in there and release some of this. But I'm telling you, the people that I listen to on podcasts that have been in intelligence, they're talking about it and doing briefings on it and trying to get people as much knowledge as they can provide. The Sean Ryan and Sarah Adams are two that are really looking into it and trying to get more information on it. But it's interesting. It's very interesting, and I've never seen anything like this where people are whistle blowing, and then all this is going on, and it's trying to be covered up. I mean, not so open up it's like so apparent and like out in front of us right now. But it's if you read that whole email and then what happened, and then listen to them breaking it down on these it's very interesting. I highly recommend people to go listen to. I think his name was. His last name's Shoemate. It's one of Sean. If you go to the Sean Ryan podcast, it's one of his most recent episodes. His first name's something, but his last name's Shoemate for sure. But it was like an hour and a half, 2-hour episode, and they're breaking that down in the email and talking about the drones and everything. Is very interesting. If you're in a bad mood, don't listen to it because it'll freak you out even more. But I don't think any of it's made up. It makes more sense than it not being a conspiracy. So. I hope Trump does on the 21st talk more about it and release some of this information and kind of get in perspective what we're dealing with here. But it sounds like China is trying to take I know they're trying to take us over economically, but it sounds like they're trying to really boost their military influence as well, and that's a scary place to be.
I still don't see them doing something to destroy the resources here because that's what they want is the resources here,
right?
But they want to be. They want to rule the world.
They want to be the superpower. yeah. And I mean, we're encouraging. I mean, we rely on them so much. We're putting them in that position.
Yeah, but they also rely on us so much for our money coming out. So it's mutual destruction.
Yeah.
If they do things the wrong way.
Right.
So it's depressing.
Yeah, it is.
But hopefully none of that happens on Monday.
I hope nothing happens. But
then the inauguration goes off and. This sounds another conspiracy theories here. The other side has been too quiet for me. They didn't
about everything.
First time since 2000. Actually, since 1996, I guess. The first time since 1996, they have not come up in Congress during the certification with some kind of something's wrong.
Yeah.
They didn't question.
Right.
And everyone says, oh, they don't question. Yeah, they did. Go back and read. They questioned 2000, 2008, and 2016. They every time during the ratification of the when they counted the votes, they came up and said something was wrong.
Yeah,
they didn't say anything. And then they look at us. See, we don't deny. Yeah, you've been the big deniers all through history.
Right.
And then just everything's gone off so smoothly. I wonder what the deep state has planned. Hopefully, it's not where you're going with some kind of mass casualty event. But hopefully, I do think something's they're going to try to foil Trump all the time.
Yeah, there's going to be. It wouldn't surprise me if one or two things happens on Inauguration Day, and I want to be wrong. I don't enjoy talking. Well, I do enjoy talking about the topic, but I don't enjoy knowing that some of the stuff I say could actually be correct. So I will want to preface it with that, but. If they don't take another assassination attempt like sniper wise, I wouldn't be surprised one bit, and I would almost be willing to, if whatever the over under is, I'd take the over that there's going to be some kind of terrorist attack at least planned for that. Whether they carry it out or not, I can almost guarantee you there's an attack planned. Now there's attacks planned all the time that don't take place because they're foiled and they found out about them and they're arrested or whatever that we don't even hear about.
Right.
But I would bet money that there's something planned, and if the Democrats are aware of it from their intelligence briefings while they've been in office, they're obviously going to not do anything to stop it.
I would hope they hadn't gone that but
listen,
but you're right.
He's taken a lot of freedoms from them and a lot of gravy trains and a lot of power when he gets in, and he's setting a precedent for a whole new wave of Republicans.
The Biden administration has done so much to mess up the next 4 years. They're trying their best, trying to sign agreements with work-at-home federal workers, to trying to put stuff in place where you can't fire a federal worker, to the money sending out to Ukraine again, the pardons, and he's talking about sometime probably, if it hadn't happened already, by the time this broadcast, if not this weekend, where he pardons Liz Cheney and Fauci. Yeah. Why do you need pardon if you haven't done anything wrong?
I know.
Oh, because it's going to be a lawfare. Oh, like you did.
All right.
I mean...
Yeah, they love playing that game, and then when it's time where it could happen to them, and for the right reasons, like people that deserve to be in like Fauci should be under the grave. Like this man should be in prison, and a lot of people with him, but they won't happen, obviously. But pardon somebody for something they didn't do is the biggest way to incriminate somebody while also getting them off the hook that I've ever seen. It's like, he did a lot of messed up shit, but we're going to get him off the hook right now before Trump gets in office, and I felt like that was one of my necessary times to throw out a curse word.
Oh, that's fine. We won't podcast. No more radio show.
No more radio show. I got to remind myself that I can't throw out a bunch of expletives. I got to be decent. I've got to be decent.
I'll be over here rolling my eyes to get to it.
Yeah. One every few episodes is all I got in me. I got to be good the rest of the time. But that one I needed to make emphasis there on how crazy this is.
It really is. I mean, and then what do you call it? The Presidential Medal of Honor or whatever it was, he gave to George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and then I guess he gave it to Chef, who was in the picture with his second assassination attempt guy.
Yeah. Who else? He gave it to somebody else that I couldn't believe. Oh man, who did he give one? He gave one. Didn't they give one to Denzel Washington? He gave one to Denzel White, which was random. I was like, what?
Right? Yeah, he did give one today.
There was somebody else. There was somebody. No, it was this time. There was somebody else he gave one to that I was like, no. I think maybe the Hillary Clinton one was what threw me off the most. I was like, the corruption there.
You saw who he didn't give one to.
Who didn't he give one to? Hunter?
Oh, did he? Did he give one to Obama, did he?
I think Obama already had one.
From him, though?
I don't know. I bet Obama got one.
Did he?
I'm sure he was handing those. I mean, Biden one doesn't even remember handing them out. He doesn't even know he was there.
This is true. But
they still parade that man around like he's in good. That's elder abuse at this point. It's like, man,
I think so.
Even though he's been one of the most corrupt and he's been horrible across the board, probably going to go down as one of the worst presidents ever. Honestly,
I think he is.
He's got to be by a long shot. But what they're doing now is just it's just parade. Just admit that he's incompetent. The man's on his borderline deathbed. Let the man go live out the rest of his life. He's beat all the corruption. He's pardoned his son. Let the man away.
So, yeah, I thought so. 2017, Obama surprises Joe Biden right before he left office with Presidential Medal of Freedom. I'm pretty sure that Joe Biden did not give one to him. Pud Save America host calls out Biden for not giving Obama a presidential medal. This was 3 days ago. So, I don't know. Did you see the Jimmy Carter's funeral? the other day?
I did. I saw like little snippets. I saw like where Trump and Obama were sitting there shooting the crap together,
laughing, carrying on.
Yeah.
Oh, it made Harris mad.
Oh,
she
I know.
looked back and she was. You could tell she was.
She looked back and she was like, "That's fine. We wait till that sniper comes out on the inauguration day." She's like, "She said, I got one for you, Trumpy."
I'm having flashbacks from our first episode.
Right. I know.
Who do you think did it? The Democrats.
Right. Yeah. Just right in. Listen, listen. I'm too little. I'm too small potatoes for them to come assassinate me.
I knew from that point on. Okay, I misjudged where we're going with this.
Yeah. Just going off the rails immediately. Like there's no. I don't have many. There's not many lines I won't cross. Like I don't know like boundaries. Now I know certain things I can't say, and I got to be professional. But there's as far as like talking about something, there's no like depth I won't go to. But I'm too small potatoes. I would never kill myself. But I'm not big enough to be assassinated, so I'm fine. They'll never even hear of Jonathan Edmonds, so it's fine. But the people that speak out like I do, that have way massive platforms, they might want to be a little worried. Anyway, interesting times.
I'm curious what the IRS docket has been filled up with before Biden leaves office. I wouldn't be surprised if Rogan's getting a good audit coming his way.
Oh, you know it. Yeah, they're probably preparing that audit as we speak.
Yeah, they try to get it in under wire before Trump takes over.
Yeah. Hopefully he fires those 87,000 agents. Let them go get a job doing something else. We don't need more IRS agents. Leave us alone.
Well, I remember, and I'm sure this is going to happen day one because it happened in 2017.
Yeah,
where people were appointed into departments heads, and they went into lawsuits against them to slow them down from doing anything in the department. So I'm sure the court system in Washington is going to be overrun on the 20th.
Yeah,
with lawsuits against all these people going in office.
Yeah,
to just bog it down, try to slow it down, and I hope Trump can just wipe through it.
I hope so. I'm excited.
You got 2 years, and if the American people like what they see, maybe they'll give him 2 more years, but after 4 years, it's done.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody thinks that Trump's staying in for office for life. No, the people who put him there will take him out before anybody else.
Yeah. Yep.
He's got 4 years to go and make a difference.
Yep.
Who's next?
Tulsi.
You think Tulsi?
I think Tulsi runs. I think Tulsi could get, and I think she can win. Yeah. She's completely moved over to the Republican Party. There are some things she's still going to be a little liberal on.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the people that vote Republican would take her over a lot of the, unless JD runs. I can see him running.
How about DeSantis?
I just don't think he can pull it off.
Did you hear him in the thing the other day at Mar-a-Lago? He lit up an employee, a reporter.
I didn't get I saw the something posted about it. I didn't get a minute to watch the video, but I scrolled by it.
He's back to his old self before he ran. I really think, and I don't think he should have ran this time. I think he should have waited to 2028. I think he'd been a perfect pick.
Yeah.
But if he had to run this time to get it out of his system of listening to all these people who know better, I hope he learned his lesson and he's back to what he was, because he lit that reporter up. Well, if Newsom had an R beside his name instead of D, we would have a different conversation about all this.
Right.
And then in the mayor, oh my gracious, Republican mayor had left to go to Africa. I mean, y'all would have crucified him. And he just right on top. And the reporter was like, oh, but he just ate him up.
Yeah.
Like, again, I'm glad he didn't there, because Trump needed to be in there right now.
Right.
But hopefully he learned his lesson, not to listen to all these groomers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I like
Tulsi, DeSantis. I'm still not sold on Vance. You're going to have to sell me over the next 4 years on Vance. But still better than a lot of other choices.
Yeah.
So either three, I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, I've listened to Vance talk on long-form podcasts 3+ hours on 2 different podcasts, Theo Von and Joe Rogan. And he's one of the most down-to-earth, normal people. You wouldn't, if you didn't know he was a politician, you'd never know he was a politician, if that makes sense.
Is he being a politician by doing that?
I don't know. I don't think you can fake being genuine for 4 hours in a long-form talk. I don't think so.
I probably need to watch those.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of Rogan's, so I didn't see the other one.
Yeah, if you watch him on Theo Von's a nut job, but he's so funny. And so Theo talks about some wild stuff on there, and he's just cracking up with them, and they're having a good time. You get to see just the human side of him and not the politician. And I don't think you can fake that, not for that long. That's hard to do. You have to be... Now, somebody like Hillary could fake it all day. I think she's about as corrupt as you get, and she's so good at faking everything.
But they are so... Their conversations are so superficial.
Right.
So the thing about Trump on Rogan, it was deep.
Yeah, well, JD was the same way. That's what I'm saying.
The press conference he had last week, I mean, he jumped over... I mean, he was talking about water and drones and all this stuff.
I saw a clip the other day where he was talking about, like, months ago or maybe a year or so ago. I don't know exactly when the video was, but he was talking about the California and what they were doing with the water and how much issues it was going to cause, and it was like way before any of this happened. And it's like, but when people when he talks about stuff, because he's so like he speaks in hyperbole, people are just like, what is he talking about? And then he was talking about like the windmills and killing all the wells and stuff, and people were like, this guy's a nut job. And then there was somebody on the podcast like, no. Or one of Rogan's podcasts, like somebody who like was in government. He's like a scientist. He's like, no, the things from these windmills that are near the coast, they trigger the supersonic, like whatever the well sonar or whatever it is, and they like wash up on and they're killing a lot of them. And he was like, no, he's not making it up. It just sounds crazy because it's Trump saying it and nobody talks about it. He's like, he talks about a lot of stuff that's true, but people are like, oh, this dude's a nut job. Don't listen to him.
And he's usually far ahead of time. Yeah. So he's far ahead of the curve because he's a good businessman. He's a critical thinker.
Yeah.
You know what's
public speaking. He could probably be a little
he's
more professional.
Better.
I think the older he gets now, it calms him down.
I think the assassination attempt changed a lot.
If that doesn't change you, you have no conscience. Yeah.
But he still got that spark that people like.
Yeah, so I'm really optimistic about these 4 years. I would tell you the most thing I'm concerned about is World War III and and just the amount of terrorist attacks. Like I'm legitimately nervous for the first time in my life traveling on a plane to New York.
Yeah,
like I am.
Get it. I was worried in New Zealand I may not get back because I thought something was going to happen over Christmas, more in depth over Christmas.
Right. Yeah. So I worry about that. Like now I'm like, do I want to go to big sporting events anymore? I mean, it's sad that now we live in a country where that we have to worry. I know, like, and again, we've talked about this, and I know there's other countries where things are a lot worse off, and they have to worry about something every single day, no matter what. So I know that. But when you live in a country where I've grown up my whole life and it's never even been a thought, then 2001 happened, you're like, oh, wow, this can actually happen. And then now we're at a place where they're saying this can happen any day, every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, it's really that close to home. And then they got these, now they've developed ISIS and Taliban or whoever's developed it, the bombs that the metal detectors won't catch and they don't show up on it's like, so now they can bring these on a plane at any time and blow up planes. And it's like, what are we doing to stop it? Are we actually? I mean, obviously behind the scenes, I'm sure a lot more is going on than I assume. Well, I hope. I hope.
I was going to say,
but at the same time, it's like, man, I didn't used to have to be nervous about things like this. This is a different type of fear, and I'm not a fan of it. I will say that I'm not a fan of it. And I just hope it gets better before it gets worse. That's all I can hope.
I get it.
I'm not in intelligence, so I can't do much about it.
We started recording a couple of hours ago for this week.
Yeah.
And we started out with subscribers. We're up 5 more. We're at 231 already.
Nice.
And the stuff we just put up.
You know what we should do?
Views already.
You know what we should do one day?
We got views on everything we put up a couple hours ago.
We should live stream on YouTube one of our episodes one day and see how many people tune in. You can live stream on YouTube. Yeah. You could probably. I don't know if you could do it with that though. I'd probably have to do it with the phone.
You can do it with that, but it would take away from recording. So we may have to invest in. We're going to have to now that we're not paying that. We won't say how much we were paying for the video show. Now we're not paying that. We probably have.
We could probably invest in a little bit of technology because that'd be cool to live stream a podcast. I mean,
we could definitely get another GoPro. Actually, maybe something better than GoPro, and
I'll have to look.
I've got a stand for the iPad. Maybe we could do it off the iPad.
Yeah, because I could log into the YouTube account on the iPad and you can live stream from it. Yeah, just have as long as you have the stand.
Yeah, I got a stand that stands up. Yeah, I got for our stuff.
Like I said, the only thing is our mics and stuff. Well, I guess if we're recording the mic, if it's all connected somehow, I'm sure we can. Because the video input, we just have to make sure the audio input's not coming through the iPad.
We'll use or we'll put these on our lapel. It's not going to interfere with each other. These could go into the iPad, and then this will be going into the system.
Yep.
Yeah, we could do that.
Easy enough. Yeah, so we'll have to do that.
And when's Bryn coming in and decorate the studio?
I need to get with her on that. And she's she's had a couple medical things come up. She's been a little out of commission. I won't talk about her issues over the air.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah, no, I won't do that to her. But she's been a little down for the count the past couple weeks. So I'm going to get her in here at some point to redecorate. Though
Sue and I ended up at Swingbridge Wednesday night.
Nice.
Talking to the waitress. And she
Taxi.
No, Taxi wasn't there. She was sick.
The other one, Lisa.
The one that she fills in for on Friday. Bryn fills in on Fridays.
Lisa. I think it's Lisa.
Anyway, she didn't know you had a podcast, so I showed her a clip.
Well, Tyler knows, and Bryn knows. Yeah,
well, Bryn didn't tell her.
Yeah,
so the whole time we were there, she made a big deal. She was texting Bryn, telling her, "You're not supporting your boyfriend." And he's
she said, but she told me, and I was like, "Well, you don't share any of it." I made it worse. Yeah, stirred the pot.
So you were on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So we were sitting there eating.
Yeah. I remember. I forgot about that.
We didn't know. Is it Lisa? I guess it's Lisa. When we used to go before we were hanging out, I used to go there all the time. That's who always waited on us. We thought she left because we didn't see her anymore.
Yeah.
And she had to come fill in for taxi. My wife says, "Well, glad you're back. Glad you're back." She's like, "I didn't go anywhere."
Yeah.
We just hadn't been in there when she was there.
Yeah, different hours.
We like her a lot.
Yeah, she's cool.
But yeah, she was giving Brent a hard time.
Yeah,
and
good.
She liked the podcast.
Oh, good. I don't
know if she watched a full episode or not, but she watched some of the reels.
Oh, that's funny. Very cool. Very cool.
How many other people do know us that don't know about this? I guess we need to tap that source too.
Oh, people that know us that don't know about the podcast.
Yeah,
my family knows about it because most of them listen to that Faith episode. Now, I don't know how often they're just listening to all my episodes. I know my mom is subscribed to the YouTube channel. I'm sure she's watches some of the clips sometimes for sure. I know she's probably watching it. But
as always, we want to hear from you. So write in, let us know.
Any topics,
email, anything.
Yeah, or just comment on one of the YouTube links or Facebook or post and just say, "Hey, talk about this on the podcast," or "Hey, here's something I want to hear about," or if you have just any feedback or anything. Which we're starting to get some comments on the YouTube. We're getting likes on the YouTube post. I've had a couple dislikes on a couple. We talked about.
Oh, really? Which one had a dislike on?
There was a couple we had a dislike on with. It was something we were talking about after the Trump victory. Not sure who went and disliked it. There was like 2 dislikes. It was like 85% like, 2 dislikes. I was like, whatever. But other than that, everything's been like all the videos we have that have got are all good likes. I think we've only had a couple dislikes. But anyway, we're making traction. We're moving quicker than I thought we would. I mean, it'll take a while to really build it to where we want this thing, but it's baby steps, and hopefully people enjoy it. I hope they get some entertainment as well as some knowledge out of it. If there's anything else, especially like on the economy or real estate side that you want to know more about, since that's our professions, please reach out to us with stuff like that, because if there's something real estate related and you're like, he never has talked about this, I wonder why. Maybe it's just something I haven't thought of that people don't know or that they need to know more about. I'll love to talk about it. And then anything economics wise, this is your guy right here.
I love talking economics.
Yeah, this guy will talk you for hours on economics.
Yes, I will.
Yeah,
ask my students.
He'll talk to me till my eyes glaze over. I'm like, I'm interested, and I'm like, man, this guy now he's going deep. No. Now I got to start taking notes, or I'm never going to remember all this. So, it's so we've both got a wealth of knowledge in different fields. So anybody that wants to know more about that, or just if they want more driving with Jonathan videos or whatever it might be,
we definitely want some more of that.
Or you got to come up with something funny.
Maybe we need to have an explicit watch list too, so we can just actually hear the whole video.
Oh yeah, John. Yeah. Well, I'll think about it. I'll think about that one.
All right. Well, another week in the podcast library, I guess.
Yep.
So we will see y'all next week. Unless there's something else you want to talk about.
Nope. I just
something crossed your head. I can see it.
No, I'm just it just hit me that you said see you next week, and in my head I'm like, well, if I make it back alive from New York, that's what crossed my mind. I got to stop thinking so negative like that.
No,
I really have a little legitimate concern. Like you're not flying. I'm not going to jinx it.
You're not flying Spirit or something.
No, I'm flying Delta.
Okay, so you'll be all right. Maybe. Come on, think about it. Nobody's gonna come into Myrtle Beach and get on a plane.
Don't say that. You just jinxed it. They're probably working for TSA and they're gonna.
Yeah, no. Where do you go from? You go from here
LaGuardia
to Atlanta?
Straight shot from Delta to LaGuardia.
Oh, you're good. Who's going to jump on in Myrtle Beach to do something? Come on, give me a break. There's not enough fuel.
What about LaGuardia coming back?
Same thing. There's not enough fuel in the plane to do the damage they want to do. You're fine. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to be a little sympathetic.
Okay, got it. All right, I feel better. We're just going to roll with what Wes said. He knows the terrorists better than they do, so I'm good.
Yeah,
I know.
Right.
If anybody knows,
that brain is beyond me.
Economics tells Wes that there's no enough fuel in the plane to do what they want.
I didn't say that. I'm just going on record. I'm just being supportive.
Okay, fair. So, all right. Well, God willing, we will see you next week.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Eisenhower Dental, located at 107 Waccamaw Medical Park Drive in Conway, a place where you can find all your dental services, including general dentistry, cosmetic, restorative, and pediatric dentistry. Reach out to them today at their website, eisenhowerdental.com, or call them at 843-234-3110. 843-234-3110 and tell them Wes the Economist sent you.
Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and give us feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and X at dollarscentsgs. You can follow us on Facebook at Dollars and Cents. Listen to us on the podcast format at Dollars and Cents Podcast, and you can also find us on YouTube at the Dollars and Cents Podcast. Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872.
The holidays are almost here, so it's time to get your financial picture wrapped up so you can have a great Christmas and a happy new year. Reach out to me at coachwestc@gmail.com to get some financial coaching.